Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The President of the United States of America issued another ultimatum to Russia. And when you issue an ultimatum, there's a threat somewhere. That is, if you don't do what I tell you, this is what's going to happen to you. Usually negative consequence. Now, is Trump in charge of Russia? Is he involved? Are the United States of America involved in the war in Ukraine? No. They are the mediator, we're told. So Donald Trump issued the third ultimatum to Russia. The first one was for 50 days, about, 4 or 5 days ago. Then yesterday, it was another ultimatum from Donald Trump between 10 and 12 days. And then the Russians responded to that. I made a video on that, go and check it out. And today, Tuesday, Donald Trump comes with a third ultimatum to Russia, which is 10 days. What does it mean? Miscalculation? Trying to muster some courage? What is it? When you draw a line in the sand, that means beyond that, clearly, I'm going to smack you. So when you give an ultimatum of 50 days, it implies that you thought about why you gave 50 days and not 51 days or 49 days. It must be calculated. Well, it's not. Because all of a sudden from 50 drops to in between 10 and 12. Again, an approximation. And then clearly 10. Did he get it right this time? And what do you think the Russians should do? Well, some pieces of shit in the media say that actually Putin doesn't care about Trump's ultimatums because Trump is not serious. It's just words, no action. We're going to look at Donald Trump's record if there's no action, only words, and compare that to Biden or someone else. So let's start with the first article coming from Ukrinform. And then I'm going to go to the Russians, obviously. Ukrinform, the 29th of July 2025. Trump gives Russia 10 days to cease fire in Ukraine. Or what? Sanctions on China and India? That's the way your diplomacy works. You create consequences, negative consequences for yourself, actually for us, not for them. And then you come and say, why did they attack us? And then you provide the answer, which is a lie. They hate our freedoms. That was September 11. Why did they attack us? And someone in the media came and said, they hate our freedom. And everybody, yeah, man, they hate our freedoms. People like me and you knew exactly why that happened. So, actions have consequences. All right, let's read the article. US President Donald Trump said on Tuesday, today, that he was reducing his ultimatum to another country, to Russia, to 10 days from today. I would like to ask you these questions. I would like you to tell me one example, when Russia issued ultimatums, or China, or I don't know, Iran, or North Korea, or Venezuela, or Cuba, or Nicaragua, the bad countries on this planet. I would like you to tell me, when was the last time they issued an ultimatum? Now you can maybe remember that the Russians told these guys, we're gonna cut a deal here, strike a deal, or we have to do this. But I haven't heard of an ultimatum. And if it was an ultimatum, maybe one, maybe two. These guys issue ultimatums to everybody. Who the hell do you think you are? All right. Now, he told reporters that during his return from Scotland to Washington, 10 days from today, Later, he said the US will impose tariffs on and other restrictions. I don't know if it's going to affect Russia because Putin wants to obviously probably keep the war going, but we're going to put on tariffs and the various things that you put on. Now, this is supposedly a smart guy, Donald Trump. Don't give me the unpredictability. Donald Trump, I heard him on a few occasions, he bragged about how other people told Donald is so unpredictable in doing business. I think he's a retard. I don't think he's unpredictable. Why? We're going to go one by one on this little sentence and analyze. I don't know. Okay, if you don't know, then don't talk. The first thing. And then he says, if it's going to affect Russia. Okay, then if you don't know, don't talk. Because, and he says why he doesn't know, or because it's going to affect Russia. Which one is it? Because he wants to, obviously, probably. If it's obvious, cannot be probably. You know what I mean? If it's obvious that I am dressed in this, I don't know, whatever color this shirt is, it can be probable. It's certainly, it's obviously Emily's a baboon. You can't say probably he's a baboon. You can say it's probably or obviously. That's too far apart. So two contradictions, one after another. And he made the point, I don't know. Because he wants to. So he already knows. So he doesn't know, but then he knows. Because Putin knows, wants to. That means you know, obviously, and then probably. Keeps the war going. But we're going to put on tariffs. And the various things like what? Prostitutes? That you put on. What? A fucking cherry on the cake? Jesus fucking Christ, my friends. And this is the President of the United States of America. That's how the people talk. And you think the Russians are like, oh my God, wow, what is this guy saying? Is they going to discard this guy as a pueril, infantile? That's how they look at this guy. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. He can't talk without a teleprompter, like Biden. Fuck me, Freddy. It's our president. That's why I'm upset. I'm upset because this guy supposedly was elected by the American population. That tells you the quality of our electorate or about the voting machines. Which one? Both? All right, let's go to this, guys. I'm so irritated. Trump issues 10-day ultimatum to Russia. The US president has threatened to slap Moscow with additional sanctions if the new deadline for settling the Ukraine conflict is not met under his terms. You have to understand this, my fellow Americans. America is just another country. That's it. Just another country. A very good country, but not in charge of any other country. It's just another country, like your family. Your family could be a good family, could be a wealthy family, could be an elevated family, could be a nice family, but it's just another family in the neighborhood. You can't come to my family and give me an ultimatum if I slap around the neighbor. You can't. You have no moral authority to do so. Please understand this. When these guys give an ultimatum to any other country on this world outside of the United Nations, right, outside of the association of the neighborhood, you have no authority. Under what kind of authority you do this? So you have to understand me. I'm not saying this because I don't want things to be right, but not from the wrong who says that they are right. They're wrong. They're wrong. They started this in 1991, expansion of NATO. Let's move on. Let's see how the Russians responded to the second ultimatum. As adults, I would mind saying. Kremlin response to Trump's Ukraine deadline change. Moscow has taken the US president's threat into account. That's it. And he says that we just do what we do. We have taken into account President Donald Trump's statements yesterday. Peskov told reporters on Tuesday while refraining from making any judgment about the remarks because he said, this guy's a baboon. That's what he is. And Peskov noted that while Russian military operation will continue, Moscow remains committed to the peace process to resolve the conflict around Ukraine and to ensure our interests in the course of this settlement. That means we're going to do what we need to do, you do what you need to do, and see where we're going to meet, maybe on the battlefield. All right? And this is what obviously I covered Mr. Medvedev. It's not up for Trump or to dictate you, meaning Senator Graham, to dictate Russia-Ukraine negotiation terms. That's actually correct. It's not up to you. Nobody appointed you as a mediator. Actually, you're not a mediator. We Americans are not mediators. We are part of the war. We are the root cause with NATO. Moving forward to the Russian porch. You don't like to have the Russians on your porch, let's say in Cuba or Mexico. That's how they don't like you to be by them in Ukraine. Unless you think that you're good and they're evil, which we go into different realm of, all right, delusional. And let me tell you how these guys are trying to portray Trump, which is right here, New Voice of Ukraine. Putin sees Trump as all talk, no action. Why? Because Donald Trump used to say this to the politicians when he ran the first time. Politicians in the US are all talk, no action. And he says here, Vladimir Putin is unlikely to be alarmed by Donald Trump's latest remarks and won't take the US president seriously unless he backs up his threats with action. That means bombs Russia. What the fuck are you talking about? Now, let me tell you this. No, my friends, Russia is a nuclear power. Trump can talk as much as he wants. He knows he can be smacked. We can be killed. Clearly, Iran could not. Iran could not. Iraq could not. Libya could not. Afghanistan could not. Yugoslavia could not. Syria could not. That's why we attacked those with NATO, because we knew they cannot strike us back equally. The Russians can destroy us. That's why he's not going to do squat. He's going to push as far as he will receive a threat from the other side. Like, hey, we know where Baron Trump goes to school. That's enough. And I guarantee you Trump is going to say, oy vey, where is the Wailing Wall? To lick it again. All right? Just that's enough for those guys to say. And I guarantee you Trump will be all pissy. Oh, we're going to strike you. We're going to do nothing. We have nuclear weapons. What the fuck are you going to do? All right? Don't push these guys to the craziness that you have in your mind. So let me tell you about Trump. Trump struck, as he struck Syria, remember with those 48 or whatever, 46 missiles that depleted airfield because Syria used those kind of gases against their own people. Remember that? Force flag operation, some people say. Remember that? We don't? Well, look into it. So Trump struck that, right? Struck them. Then remember, he struck in Iraq, killing that Iranian general, remember? He also hit the Houthis, remember? He also hit the Iranians, remember? So what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, you want them to hit the Russians? Are you crazy? Under what kind of circumstances you think that he could hit the Russians? The Russians could easily hit us back, easily, with no problem, with zero problem. A submarine can give us the exact treatment we might give them with our B-2s and our whatever those cluster bombs we have, or whatever they are. They can do that. My friends, these guys, there are some group, some entities on this planet who want us to destroy one another for their benefit. You figure out who that group is or what that group is. I already know part of that group. It's not the entire group, part of that group. All right. It's a financial group. It's also a, how should I put it, ethnic group. Okay, that's I think. I don't know, maybe the aliens. That's why I'm talking about ethnic group. So, my friends, I'm not talking about in its entirety. The leaders of those entities. There's or two at least that I can easily identify. Easily. So thank you very much, my friends. And why would you change? Why would you change? From 50 to 10 to 12 and then to 10. What's going to be next? 3? What is this? You're not certain? You did not plan for this? You just said it? I mean, this is a joke, my friend. This is a joke. But this is our president, you know what I mean, elected by American electorate. I'm very, very, very disappointed, to say the least. I feel very much betrayed. Betrayed by the information I had. I'm not saying that the United States of America is not exceptional. It's not that exceptional. That's what I'm trying to say. And committing crimes and holding the fact that you are exceptional doesn't really work, you know. You can't be exceptional with 2 atomic bombs dropped on 2 civilian cities and napalms on a country that didn't do anything to you. Okay, A little bit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Putin will continue to do what he's doing best, and we'll see what Trump is going to do. Impose sanctions and talk big. Why? The other guys can destroy us as well. The other ones that I mentioned, they couldn't. That's why they were so tough. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.